to explore some of the implications of central bank digital currencies for folks kind of following at home. A digital dollar would resemble in certain ways cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or Ethereum in certain limited respects, but differ in very important ways as well. Now, Dr. Levin, rather than a tradable asset with wildly fluctuating prices that we see in certain crypto markets and limited real life use as a currency, a central bank digital currency would function more like dollars and have more widespread acceptance, presumably, correct?
Right. The point is that with a central ledger in an electronic world, you can have instant, free, secure transactions.
Great.
That's why, I mean, coming back to this other thing, when I think about digital world, like cell phone, we don't say, well, is this for work or is it for home? You know, it's for everything. And so it's all the above. And so absolutely having a free, safe, secure, instant transaction platform that every American can use is what we should have had already, and we need it now.
Thank you. And just to clarify, it would also be fully regulated under a central authority, right? Yeah.
So I think there's been some agreement among a number of us at this table that these should be 100% backed by reserves held at the Fed. So there's no concern that the stablecoin provider might go bankrupt. Okay, and then there's a panic and people.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I just have limited time. Now, economists like Claudia Sahm have, and as we've heard throughout the hearing, agree that direct stimulus payments, like the checks that Americans received during the pandemic, can shorten recessions. And although stimulus payments helped stabilize the economy during the pandemic, delivery was sometimes slow. And even the IRS and the Treasury just announced last week that 2.2 million stimulus payments were made in late July. These were the stimulus payments that people got months ago after the original passing of the American Rescue Plan. Now, this is not because of some technical, payments getting lost in technology or bureaucracy. It's because the most vulnerable people in our society are hardest to reach. People who don't have consistent mailing addresses, people who are unbanked, a lot of times because it's too expensive to be banked, people who don't file taxes because they make too little money. And these are real issues. And so my question is, with the CBDC, it's all about the design. It's not just the idea, it's the execution, design, and implementation. And my question is, in that similar vein, what would make a well-designed CBDC system that helps overcome some of these existing issues that we have seen with banks and with just the delivery of stimulus checks? Ms. Coronado?
So one of the key pieces of the design is that the lower income households should have no fees whatsoever to engage, and that some of the technology access questions would be part of the infrastructure that's built. Whether that's a digital card that they're provided or kiosks, some sort of access to their accounts that is free and built and available to them to engage in the transactions.
Got it. And there has been some discussion, even most recently, and we heard in the last few minutes, about two-tier systems. And Dr. Coronado, in your testimony, you say, quote, preserving a two-tier system of private providers would promote competition and continued innovation, while Fed oversight would promote that safety and soundness. Now, by two-tier systems, you're referring to how certain banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan can bank with the Federal Reserve, but regular Americans cannot, right? That's what you're alluding to? Okay. Now, I just want to be clear here, just for clarification. There is no legal, technical, or operational requirement as to why banks or private payment companies need to be involved, correct? In other words, the federal government could provide public digital currency services directly to the public if it wanted to, like the Postal Service provides
bank. Sure, yes.
Money to, okay, thank you. Now, I think one of the things that we're seeing here is that we're facing a choice. Congress is facing a choice, whether we want to give, Wall Street another tool of being in charge of the public's money and payments, or whether we can potentially establish a public option here as well. Now, one concern that we hear in CBDC conversations, My time is up. I'm sorry, so I can't get to the last question. I'll file it for the record.